What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow for Tesla, based off what the charts are showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to break down some breaking pieces of news affecting Tesla and the oil supply of the world, what's going on with Tesla's share price in the overall markets, and major updates coming out from China that are absolutely massive. Now, before I break anything down about all this news and what's going on with the media and the markets, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth of $2,000. And the best part is, out of these 12 free stocks, one of them could be a free Apple share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 2 weeks. Please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So, looking at Tesla, we're up about 1.56% for the day. A little bit red in the after hours, but overall, we did have a slight green day today. And I did predict that Tesla would see a lot of price action between that 265 and 275 range. And I predicted a close around 270 flats. We ended up closing a little bit above that, but overall, it's still not looking as great as what it was looking like in the past. Now, for the long term, as you know, I'm super bullish for Tesla. For the short term, we have big things coming out. So I first want to talk about this big deal that just came out. We can see that OPEC is actually decreasing the supply of oil by their production. So that's going to be a decrease of 100,000 barrels per day. We can see right over here. And this is actually having a big effect on the energy sector because as of right now, we did see the cost of a barrel of oil go up temporarily, but there are different talks coming out involving Saudi Arabia and other countries that are willing to actually negotiate a little bit more with the USA, which is one good sign. But overall, I don't consider this anything that's extremely significant or anything that big. I do believe that there is a big psychological effect in these decisions, and we actually need to actually spur up the supply of energy, in my honest opinion. So I don't consider this a great thing right now. We do need to see supply meet demand, and right now we're just not close just yet. So to me, I don't consider that a big win for oil in itself. But for Tesla, we did see Tesla actually push up a bit thanks to this news, maybe just a little bit, because what's very interesting is the SPY and the NASDAQ, they did end up closing kind of in the red, at least somewhat. And Tesla actually held up and managed to actually close kind of green. So it could be because of the fact that the price of oil or the cost of a barrel of oil is starting to go up just slightly off this deal. And after that happened, as the initial reaction, we did see a big push in a lot of the energy sector stocks out there. So this is incentivizing people to actually avoid oil in a sense, because now oil is just going up and up and up, and EVs are becoming the new norm. So that could just be another sign out there, as this was not just a political decision, but this will affect the EV sector. So this is probably one of the reasons as to why Tesla pushed up. But when it comes to the overall market, I don't see this lasting forever for Tesla, unfortunately. On the 21st, we have the FOMC meeting, and with the Fed meeting coming out and Powell announced the new FOMC policies, this is going to be very big with their open market operations, because many investors are anticipating a more hawkish Powell, and we are seeing the effects this is having on the overall market. If I look right over here, we could see the correlation between SPY and Tesla. It still continues to this day. We are seeing a downtrend on both of them right over here, and we are seeing a slight increase in the price pairs ratio. So that's actually showing a lot more volatility from Tesla's end relative to SPY. And I do anticipate that we do have a little bit more downside to come based off this. So what we could see right here from a technical standpoint, if I were to hide all my drawings, what you'll notice that's very interesting on Tesla is on the daily time frame. If you look at the way this thing's moving, we do have a slight downtrend right over there on Tesla. And if I want to look at some technical indicators just real quick, we are going to notice that Tesla is showing some signs that it is ready to actually continue with the bearish momentum. Now, let me just find my last two indicators. Tesla right now is still on that downtrend, even though we did have a slight green day. And I'm not super convinced that the bulls are in full control just yet. So anyways, just to make this very clear right now, Tesla was fighting for that 200 EMA before, and we are actually very close to it, but we are very close to being below it as well. So as far as the EMAs go, we are very close to seeing that 1348 EMA cross. SPY already got it. If you look at SPY, we already had it. And right here on the daily, we could see the MACD is still wide open relative to the signal line. This means Tesla has lots of bearish momentum. The OBV is holding up a little bit better, which is a sign that a lot of individuals out there are not selling their Tesla shares. There's still a lot of holding that's going on right now, but a lot of the buyers that still step in at these ranges are just not strong enough to really stop what the bears are doing, and that is shorting the market relatively hard. We are seeing RSI come down, but RSI is not completely oversold yet, in my opinion. It does look like Tesla has a little bit more room for downside. And I know you guys don't like to hear that, but that's what the overall trend is suggesting. And just to make this clear on a smaller time frame for Tesla, you'll notice that on the 5 minute, look at Tesla's trend. You could see, if I just zoom out a bit, since the split happened, right here, Tesla was in the 300s. Then we hit the 290s and the 280s. Last week, we were pushing to like 282, 281, and right now we closed at 274. So there's a clear downtrend right here. And on SPY, I'm noticing something else that's very interesting. SPY is coming down, and I do think SPY is going to affect Tesla because the SPY ended up breaking below $390 a share. This means that 390 is not even holding us anymore. That was our very strong support last week where SPY was bouncing from. So the next key zone is around that 388 range. If SPY breaks that, then 385 will most likely come. If we can't hold that, then 382. With that said, I think it's very likely the SPY is going to come to these ranges. The volume is just not looking that good. The overall trend still looks bearish, and I do think this is going to drag Tesla down for the next 2 weeks. So overall, if you look at max pain on Tesla, you'll notice right here, max pain is 266 for next week as of right now. And we are seeing the put to call ratio still in favor of the puts. So big institutions, big businesses are still shorting Tesla a lot more than buying it. And that's part of the reason as to why Tesla's moving the way it is. If you look at the price versus the short volume percentage, you could see right over here, price is coming down, the short volume percentage is going up. The shorts are coming in and they are getting ready, in my honest opinion. Now, looking at other factors out there, I want to just note that AI Day is coming at the end of September. It's going to be a good catalyst, and I really still stand by my original claim that after the FOMC meeting on the 21st of September, Tesla and the overall market will basically reverse. We also have earnings on the 19th of October, just to remind you guys as of right now. So just keep those dates in mind. As far as Tesla's price goes, what I'm going to be watching for is if Tesla comes down, if we get a big hit from Tesla, I'm going to be watching for 272, then 270. If that doesn't hold, 265. And we could actually see how it respected these ranges today. If 265 doesn't hold, which I honestly just don't think it's going to hold very strongly, I see 259 coming. That's where the gap fill area is. And if that doesn't hold, then 250 is most likely in the picture. So what I predict for tomorrow is I do think we're going to see a lot of choppy sideways price action for Tesla in the overall market. And I do still see a more bearish trend being respected. So into open, I think we might push up just a little bit on Tesla, going to like 270, 276, 278, like around there. Then I see a big rejection coming off that. And I anticipate we're going to come down to this key range right here, 270 to 272, trade a little bit sideways just like that. Then I see a big hit coming. I think this is going to come down to 265, just like this. And I anticipate it's going to try to bounce off that again because I do think that SPY is going to help drag it down. So is the NASDAQ, the QQQ, the overall market, right? And what I anticipate is Tesla's going to actually close very close to 270 for tomorrow. I see a slight red close. And that is essentially what I'm predicting for tomorrow. Now, as far as the overall trend goes, I do think Tesla's going to have a slight red day for tomorrow, and I see something very similar being respected by the NASDAQ. Very similar setup with SPY on the daily. I mean, if you look at the 1348 EMA cross, it already happened as well. Once again, very bearish signal, and I could see the NASDAQ coming down below that 11,500 range. QQQ, very similar story. I see the QQQ coming down relatively soon as well. They're all following the same trend almost in unison, and I do think this will affect Tesla as well, in my honest opinion. Now, I did share some news which is not the best news, but we do have great pieces of news as well about Tesla I really wanted to talk about because you have to remember for the long term, we are still very optimistic. The market's going to do much better in the long term, and I really believe Tesla will as well. For the short term, I do see a trend reversal after the FOMC meeting on the 21st. But I want to talk about this right here. So, big banks out there like Goldman Sachs are now saying that Tesla is a big buy. They do have a target of $333 a share. They do think it's going to break all time highs. Basically, that's what they're essentially trying to say. They're still very, very bullish. And my point is, if you are in this market, if you are trying to invest for the long term, this is a very good opportunity to start dollar cost averaging down and accumulating those shares. Non financial advice, by the way, but this is just a very big opportunity. Lots of big investors and analysts from Goldman Sachs are saying the same thing. So please, please, please do what you have to do and just know this. As far as other pieces of data goes, I'm still very, very bullish. So overall, I give you guys my anticipation of what Tesla's going to do, and I'm still very optimistic, guys. I love Tesla. Their AI day is going to be huge. Their technology is amazing, but there are some things in the world that do concern me. All right, I don't like to always talk about bad news. I want to tell the truth. I told you guys good things. I told you guys some negative things if you want to interpret it that way. But the truth is what sets us free, and the truth is what the truth really is, right? So that's why I want to talk about something else that actually concerns me about Tesla and the overall market. If we look at what's going on in China, all right, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of cases in every single province now. However, the lockdowns haven't been kind of like spreading to Shanghai just yet, or as of right now. As of right now, we're seeing about 60 million residents on lockdowns in China. It increased again. But right now, if I show you guys a map right here, Shanghai's around like this end right here. And right now, a lot of the lockdowns aren't happening there. They're happening a little bit south of Shanghai right here. The major area is Chengdu right here. Big lockdown right over there. A little bit north of Beijing, we have lots of lockdowns there. A little bit south of it as well. So basically, a lot of the provinces and cities surrounding Shanghai are the ones that have the lockdowns. Shanghai, as of right now, the province around it, they do have some cases, but we aren't seeing lockdowns just yet, which is why I'm not entirely, I'm not necessarily panicking or anything. I don't even recommend ever panicking. What I'm trying to say is it is something to keep in your minds, guys. It's still going up. The cases are still going up. Winter is approaching, so be ready in case something happens, because if Shanghai does get these lockdowns again, it will affect Tesla's numbers, their deliveries. So be on the lookout once it may or may not happen. Be prepared for that. Additionally, I saw this news that came out. We saw a big typhoon that actually came very close to many airports in Shanghai. They actually have lots of shutdowns over there in some areas. So this is not necessarily the same thing as before, but it's just a temporary thing in my opinion. So I'm not necessarily concerned about it, but I really hope that this doesn't escalate to the point where other big factories get the shutdowns. I just want to put this out there as well. So crazy weather. They're also having parts of their country where they're having heat waves, just like in parts of the USA. So very, very crazy things going on in the world. I know that. So one thing I don't like to talk about too much is the situation in Taiwan. Well, right now we're starting to see Japan now getting involved by expanding their fuel and ammo storages over there. I would want the best for all people, right? I do not like warfare or anything like that. I want peace, right? That's the most blunt way I could say it. But this is a risk. What's happening in Taiwan is a risk. Please be prepared, stay safe, everyone, and just know that if this does escalate, it will be horrible for the markets. It will hurt Tesla. As of right now, it hasn't necessarily escalated to that point, but we are seeing some more concerning things coming out, such as Japan now getting involved. And I really hope nothing happens. That's my honest opinion, but we have to be prepared regardless of that. With that said, I mean, I know I basically spread a lot of things you guys don't like to hear, but the truth is the truth. And from my honest view, I do anticipate more downside for Tesla for the short term, but after September 21st, I see a big improvement going into the elections for midterms. And after midterms, I think that's what's going to really affect where the market goes from there. Whether it dumps or whether it gets another rally, we'll have to wait and see, as we do have another FOMC meeting for November and also one for December. So please be prepared, guys. Do what you have to do. And always remember, always be optimistic. All right. Tesla's a fantastic company. I'm super, super bullish for its long term. I can't wait to see what other products they end up releasing. The Cybertruck is still coming very soon, not to mention the Roadster. Tesla's an absolutely amazing company. I'm going to be loading up on shares at these low levels to hold for the long term. I'm super, super bullish. So please don't misinterpret what I'm saying as me always spreading FUD. It's just the truth. And please do what you have to do that's best for your own portfolios and your own lives. All right. So thank you all so much for listening. Remain calm, cool, and collected at all times and do what you have to do. Do what you deem best is for your families and your own lives, your own portfolios. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon because the long term future is still incredibly bright. And peace out.